Wimmera football time, and I reckon that my next guest, he's going to be a little bit shattered because he's a Carlton supporter, but he loves his Warwick Eagles and loves the local Wimmera football. Scotty, Stewart, how are you?
Yeah, well, I'm not too bad, Wayne, but yeah, after that intro, bringing back some bad memories on last Sunday, but anyway, we'll try and get over it.
Yeah, it's not great. You wouldn't want to be a Southern Valley Giants player and a Carlton supporter at the same point, would you?
No. I didn't imagine that if you've just been nutted by 4 points in one game and 1 point in the other to miss out on finals, isn't it? Yes, you would. It wouldn't have been a good weekend for you.
No, I tell you what a weekend it was. But I'm going to make a little assessment here. The Horsham D's are not just making up numbers in the finals and keeping the Giants out. They were a real premiership threat.
Definitely, yeah. Like after going taking down, was it Ararat the week before, and then Stall this weekend to have to win those two games to put yourself into the finals contention. You got to be right up there, don't you? And that win last week, as close and as thrilling as it was, they just got the job done. They're the Collingwood of the Wimmera Footy League at the minute.
Well, they are, and put it in its perspective, they also had two losses before that in rounds 14 and 15 to the Giants in an absolute thriller at Hopeton, and then in another thriller against Minyip by less than 2 goals. So their form actually is not poor, and so the Mighty D's might be on the road towards another premiership, which could have people from Ararat, Stall and Minyip shaking in their boots.
Exactly right, yeah. And that's the thing with this whole setup, isn't it? And I think we might have mentioned it last weekend. The top 5 is now set. That's fine. Unfortunately, the Southern Valley Giants were the ones that missed out. But, you know, your top 6 are now in the Wimmera League this year. We've all had a shot at the premiership, and as you said, Horsham, yeah, they're right into in the mix, to do it again, and everyone's just got a chance. It just makes this final series. We sort of reported as being one of the closest, in recent memory. There's no standout. There's everyone has already proven throughout the season that they can beat each other, and these last few rounds have just proven that. And we've talked about this Horsham game last week. We obviously didn't see it, but the reports coming through that they come down to the final kick of the day. A young fella from Stall had the chance. Unfortunately, a bit of an angle, bit of a hard shot. It was probably the percentages were pretty low that it was going to register a goal, but that's just the way it was, and that's the way the games have been going, coming down to that last kick of the day, and that's what it was again last weekend, apparently.
Certainly was, as the D's won 6-11-47 to Stall 6-7-43 to keep the Giants out of the finals, who won 18-14, 122 over the Saints, 10-9-69. They kept their end of the bargain, the Giants, and it was a giant win. It was probably the best win of the season.
Well, that's it. They've probably hit some pretty good form in these last months of the season. You said about knocking over Horsham there a few weeks ago, and unfortunately, just had that bit of a lull in the middle of the season, which it's cost them dearly. But yeah, as I said, they held up their end of the bargain on last Saturday with that pretty good win over the Saints, and again, produced some pretty good footy by the sounds of it.
Got some really good players in a sixth side. The Giants are out of the finals race, who could have won the premiership that with their full team in, and really through the whole year haven't been able to get their best team on the park, with very major injuries in the season to their best player, Coleman Shack, and also the Bromley Lynch boys been out injured regularly. Up forward, Denham's been in and out. They haven't been able to get their ruckman on the field on a regular basis, and it has been a tough injured season for them, and they will now have to regroup for next year. But Minyip, no regrouping needed for them in the last round of home and away. 12-13-85, betting nil, 2-6-18.
Yeah, no, pretty standard win for the Boroughs there by looks of that game. They kept the nil boys goalless in that second half, and went away with it. You mentioned there, Jay McGrath kicking 6 goals in looks like a best on-ground performance. So good for him for this weekend's final series, and the Boroughs are going to take winning form into the contest, and they're knowing that they've sewed up that second spot in the ladder in the qualifying final this weekend, and they'll be taking a fair bit of confidence out of that one.
Yeah, the two Belag brothers, Jake and Nick, have been named in the best players, and of course Tanner Smith back into that side. Will Holmes and Caleb Leith, they do have a long list of good footballers and a number of different players in their better players throughout the season. So I reckon Minyip Matawa still will stir the pot for the grand final on that day when it comes. I reckon they'll be right up there. Dimboola are right up there because they knocked over your Eagles 17-23 to 6 goals 3. It wasn't to be for the Giants, hoping for Dimboola to lose. And unfortunately, Ryan McKenzie, the Biggaroo, could not recap the form of the previous week.
No, not quite, but that's one of the games that I got over to see last weekend, first one in a long time, and it just looked like Dimboola had come out like a team that was playing for a final spot. They dominated from the opening bounce and didn't give the Eagles a chance. Ground was pretty heavy with recent rains. But Dimboola just looked like they were running on top of the ground, no worries at all. They were cherry ripe and ready to go, coming off that bye and knowing that they had to secure the 4 points to get that cement that finals position, I should say. But what's that? 40 scoring shots to 9. So that basically underlines the dominance that Dimmy had. So they'll take a fair bit of confidence out of that and into this weekend's elimination final. So they'll be another team to watch.
They're going to be down at Central Park. That could be the disadvantage for them. They play the D's, who are in absolute cherry ripe form. Dimmy take them on at Central Park in a thrilling encounter in the wet. I don't know where Central Park's going to hold up with the amount of moisture that we have had. Does that, I guess, with Dimmy having a bit, I guess their ground will be a little bit drier up in the Wimmera at this end of it. So maybe Horsham start a slight favourite here.
Yeah, that's a good point with conditions. As I said there, Dimmy looked pretty good last week in the heavy going on their home ground. So I'm thinking they should be up and about and ready for the clash. And whether this tough finish to the season with Horsham has any sort of bearing on the final result in this one, only time's going to tell. But they are factors. We have had some good weather over the last few days, and I think the weekend's shaping up not too bad itself. So hopefully, I think the Dimmy ground will come up pretty well for Saturday, and I'm thinking the Central Park they have a pretty good drainage system down there, so that should be played in pretty good conditions, I'm thinking.
How are you tipping? You're slightly going to Dimboola. I mean, is Ross the key there? His big performance last week, the boy from out down in the Nepean League in the Mornington Peninsula, he's come up here and been very good for them. Lant, the coach, is in good form. They go deep, don't they?
Yeah, they certainly do. And you're right what you say there about John O'Ross. He was pretty impressive again last weekend and finished off with another 4 goals. And look, here he'll play a big role in that. Whether Geordie Burke's got some plans to try and reduce his influence on the game. If he has got those plans well in place, well, it's going to go a long way for Horsham to get the win. So you're probably right, Liam, probably landing just favourably towards Dimboola, but that's only just. You've got some good talent right throughout these lists, and I noticed last week, you look at your best players, and if you've got Tyler Blake and Rona Comboy and Ben Lakin and the likes, Big Billy Carberry and the Ruck, entering your best player lists in your final rounds of the season. Well, it's only going to go well for Geordie and his chances of taking the win and keeping their final series alive. But elimination final, you put this one down as a qualifying and you put it down as a second semi. They're all going to be big games, and this is just going to be a huge one on Sunday down there at Central Park. So. Look, if you put me into a tipping, I would maybe say Dimboola just.
All right. Now, the other match on Saturday is the qualifier. Minyip Matawa must start favourite here over Stawell, but Stawell have been an enigma. The last couple of weeks, they've lost close matches, and you just get a feeling when you look at Minyip Matawa's list, and Jay McGrath kicking goals last week. We've got Tanner Smith, a real star, Petering and Timmy McKenzie, and you've got the big Kieran Delahunty in that side. You could go to the Ballag brothers, and Luke Fisher's been a star over many years in many competitions. So I can't go past the Boroughs. I think I'm going to tip them to beat Stawell, but I reckon it's just purely the quality of their stars.
I agree. I'd be tipping Mini Matoa. We say this, but we're saying this on the back of two games that have been played this season. I think we reported there it was round 2 and then obviously round 11 or 12, whatever, later on the season. Been 2 1-point games and they've both gone to the Boroughs. So, to say on form and on the meetings throughout the season, you get a favourite. You're not going to get any sort of favourite there with two 1-point games because they must have been just absolute thrillers to finish the season. But the thing you say about there with Stall is interesting, isn't it? With their last, I haven't quite got them in front, but the last 5-6 rounds, they've probably had 3 or 4 three games, within 1 to 4 points, haven't they? And that puts them in good stead because you get a close finish towards the end of the season. You need that if it's pretty tight coming in the last quarter. But also in saying that, and I'm probably contradicting myself a little bit here, but the Boroughs, or how many times have they done it throughout the year? I think we've spoken about them throughout the season, where they might have been a point down at 3/4 time, but have found a way to get the win at the end of the day. So, huge game, a great way to kick off the final series this weekend over there in Dimmy. Hopefully the ground is in good nick because it will be a huge spectacle. And I think the big crowd that's going to get over to have a look at this one won't be disappointed in the match. And the final result could well be less than a kick again, I'm thinking. So, but I will stick with what you say there. I think the Mini Matoa team, they probably deserve to start as slight favourites, the way they finished off the season, and some big forwards. But the Stall game is obviously in not bad nick at the moment, so it'll be a huge game, this one.
Big game for the kids starting in the morning on Sunday. Your Warwick Eagles lads take on Neil at Central Park, and this is a great opportunity to showcase some junior kids out of 2 of the towns that are in the smaller towns that are playing in this competition.
Yeah, the young Warwick Eagles kids are the only football team representing the Eagles, and they've done that a fair few years in a row. And I think if you went back through it over the years, I know when my young fella was playing, we played Neil in the elimination final in the under 14. So they're sort of that 4th and 5th finishes most years, and they've always been close battles. So good luck to the young fellas there this weekend. They'll kick off the Sunday festives down there at Stall nice and early, and be kicking some jaw from grass air, and hopefully they can put in a good performance and have another shot at a final in a week later.
Yeah, Maxie Inkster and young Charlie Martin, they'll need to kick some goals for their lads to get up and win it. It'll be an absolute beauty for the kids starting out in the morning on Sunday from the Warwick Eagles. And, well, Scotty, thanks to the Warwick Herald, we look forward to chatting to you more on Wimmera football next week as we get deep into the finals.
Yeah, no worries. Good on you, Wayne. It'll be a great final series.